MBE English Podcast.
Hello and welcome to MBE English Podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Kevin. Thanks for joining us today.
In this episode, we're doing an advanced listening practice conversation about global warming.
We'll focus on causes, real-world impacts, and why the topic can be so hard to discuss without turning it into an argument.
Exactly. Let's dive in.
Emma, I feel like global warming is one of those topics where people either panic or shut down. There's rarely a calm middle ground.
I agree. The conversation often becomes emotional because it touches everything: economies, lifestyles, politics, even identity. And when a topic feels personal, people defend their position instead of exploring it.
That's true. Also, the term global warming itself can be misleading. People hear warming and expect every place to get hotter in a simple way.
Right. A better word is climate change, because the key issue is the shift in long-term patterns. You can have more heat overall and still experience cold spells, but the trend changes.
And the trend matters because ecosystems and infrastructure are built around stable patterns. When those patterns shift, the system gets stressed.
Exactly. Think of it like a city designed for a certain normal. If extreme heat becomes more common, you suddenly need different building standards, better cooling, and stronger health systems.
One thing I often hear is, the climate has always changed. That's technically true, but it can be used to dismiss the current problem.
Yes. The important difference is speed and cause. Natural changes usually take a long time. The current changes are happening quickly, and human activity, especially burning fossil fuels, is a major driver.
That brings us to greenhouse gases. The basic explanation is clear: carbon dioxide, methane, and others trap heat in the atmosphere. But people underestimate how interconnected that is with everything else.
Exactly. Energy powers almost every part of modern life: transportation, food production, manufacturing, heating, digital services. So when we talk about reducing emissions, we're talking about redesigning a system, not just making a few lifestyle changes.
That's why some people feel powerless. They think, if the problem is this huge, what can my small actions possibly do?
It's a fair question. Individual actions alone won't solve it, but they can still matter in two ways. First, they reduce demand in small increments. Second, they signal social priorities: what people support, what they reward, what they tolerate.
So it's partly about culture.
Yes, and also politics. People don't like hearing it, but large-scale change needs policy: cleaner energy grids, better public transport, stricter efficiency standards. Those require collective decisions.
At the same time, policy can fail if it ignores fairness. You can't ask everyone to carry the same burden when the impact and responsibility aren't equal.
Absolutely. There's also an international dimension. Some countries historically emitted far more. Others are still developing and want economic growth. A realistic approach has to include financial support and technology transfer.
Another complicated issue is the trade-offs in solutions. Even renewable energy isn't free environmentally. Solar panels, batteries, and wind turbines require materials, mining, and space.
Right. That's why the goal isn't zero impact. The goal is lower overall harm. We choose the option that reduces long-term damage and improves resilience.
I like that framing because it's more mature. Otherwise, people get stuck in all-or-nothing thinking.
Exactly. And that kind of thinking stops progress. If someone believes every solution is imperfect, they may choose to do nothing, which is the worst option.
Let's talk about effects people actually notice. Heat waves are one, but there are other impacts that are less obvious.
Yes, changes in rainfall patterns, water scarcity, lower crop yields in some regions, rising sea levels, and increased risk of wildfires. And many of these issues create indirect pressures, like migration and economic instability.
So global warming isn't only an environmental topic, it's a security and public health topic as well.
Exactly. And that's why it's difficult. It's not one problem. It's a network of problems.
If you had to summarize the most practical mindset for people, what would it be?
I'd say be informed, be consistent, and avoid perfectionism. Support system-level changes, but also make realistic personal choices. Most importantly, don't let the size of the problem paralyze you.
I agree. I think we need urgency without panic and realism without denial.
That's a great line, actually. Urgency without panic, realism without denial.
Today we talked about global warming as a systems issue, its causes, its wider impacts, and why meaningful solutions require both personal choices and collective action.
And if you're using this for listening practice, try replaying the conversation and focusing on how we connect ideas, phrases like at the same time, the key issue, and that's why.
Thanks for listening to MBE English Podcast.
Subscribe for more advanced conversations, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode.
See you in the next episode.